yeah, I love my mum to bits, you know, but when I was younger, she just didn't bring me up very the best. You know what I mean? She just couldn't be there for me, you know, because going through a divorce and that, whatever, and working hard, whatever. I didn't really see my mum when I was younger, do you know what I mean? And because of that, I was just sort of having sex, you know. I just didn't have no dad guiding me, you know. And I know this now, you know. I know that I should have. I mean, children need a lead on them at that age, do you know what I mean? You know, and you need to look after you, especially if you've got a girl. You know, you don't want to get pregnant, do you? Do you know what I mean? But to be honest with you, I was like a wild dog, you know. And I had one night stands sometimes, you know, once, and I'm not proud of it. You know, it's only because I wasn't brought up properly to understand how to go about a relationship really properly, you know. Not understanding the, you know, like, the after effects of having sex,
Yeah.
like having a child.
The
consequences.
No, I won't even say the consequences, but the outcomes.
Yeah, you know what I mean? I didn't think about the baby.
Yeah.
You know, I didn't think about, you know, I just wasn't that bright.
Well, I'm glad, I must say that I'm glad and lucky in a sense of where I was around older guys, like hanging out with older people most of my life.
Yeah.
That was straight away, well, that's one of the first things they used to always say to me, you know. Make sure you use a condom, or, you know, make sure if you're a person that you're together with, if you see what I mean, and things are happening, make sure that you don't get pregnant, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Well, I think like condoms were just coming out when I was 16.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah. Yeah. Yeah, can you imagine though how many, like, if they didn't invent condoms, alright,
Yeah.
And the pill, how many children would be about today?
Oh yeah, it is true, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
and don't forget abortion clinics.
Yeah, true.
Which is,
and war.
Yeah.
You know, war kills off a lot of people, doesn't it too, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
You know, yeah. But we're talking about freedom of speech today, aren't we?
Yeah, man.
And
I think we got to try to maintain as much freedom of speech as possible, because the more, you know, like I said earlier, if we get to a point in society where we're no longer able to challenge anything as a collective group of people and stand up for what we believe to be right without being chastised or imprisoned or fined heavily or some kind of repercussions for just because you want to stand up for something you believe in, then, you know, it's, you know, you don't have freedom of speech if that is the case, you know. So, you know, we need to try to maintain some element of freedom of speech, you know, otherwise it's just completely like totalitarian control, if you see what I mean. Like, you know, people would just be living in fear. You know, people might not even want to say certain things or talk about certain things, or, you know.
I believe in a better world.
Yeah.
And I believe that, you know, you're not going to get a better world if we ain't got freedom of speech.
Exactly. And I think right now in the world, I think there is hope, you know. I see there's a lot of places in the world where people are fed up. People are coming together, and people are saying we're not having this anymore. Like these conditions in which a lot of people in certain countries and certain places are living in, and people are coming together and saying we've had enough of this. You know, we're done with this. You know,
well, it's like this shutdown, isn't it? You know, and you had Boris there sort of saying got to stay in, really strict. You know, and then they had a big party. You know, and it's all on the news.
And now he's resigned as an MP.
Yeah, you know, but
because
you know, and it's all like I say, it's all kind of like watching children in a funny way. You know,
like a bloody soap opera.
You know, where we got serious matters down here. You know, like so, a lot of people are working really hard in their jobs, trying to climb up the ladder.
Yeah.
They're trying to get on the ladder even. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. That big ladder. you know, to get their own place, to buy their own place, right? Then they shut down, and it kind of devastates a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? And sucks up their savings and all kinds of things, you know. And it's a bit like a terrorist attack, if you ask me. You know, I can't explain it. Do you know what I mean? You know, I just can't. I'm free to say that, aren't I? You know, that's what I think. Everyone should be free to speak. I just believe in a better world, and I say that the world is improving in some ways. I think it's getting better myself.
I think it's getting worse for sure. Personally, I think the world is getting worse, to be honest. But like I said just now, I think there is hope. There's a lot of people out there that are fighting for good. You know, it's almost like we're witnessing. It's almost like right now we're witnessing a battle between good and evil in real time.
That's true.
And I think that's the best way to summarise it, to be honest, that anyone could understand.
Two evil, no, not evil
good.
Forces. Two forces bashing against
each other right now in real time. And I think we're witnessing this right now in society, if you see what I mean, everything that's going on, you know, and how everything is evolving and the direction in which the world is kind of moulding and shaping and going towards, if you see what I mean.
Personally, I think like it's two forces, alright? Force fighting against each other like that, but they're fighting for what's right. Those both forces, do you know what I mean? I wouldn't say, I think they're both evil and both good, do you know what I mean? And they're two forces fighting over, I think, probably land issues more than anything from the past, from history. You know, and I think it's two forces fighting together about what's right. That's what I think.
I think you've got a certain group of people that are trying to implement and instill certain values and principles in society that were never normally accepted before, and then you've got a large group of people that oppose that and saying we don't want this, we're happy to stick to our traditional values, principles, and our religious morality, etc.
What would you rather be, the 99% or the 1%? Because I'm glad to be the 99%, you see, part of the people. Because I don't think 1%...
I'm conflicted, and I tell you why. I'm happy to be part of the 99%, and I'm glad I am, if you see what I mean. I you know, but at the same time, there is an element of me that thinks if I was part of that 1%, I could probably do so much
good. Yeah.
To change and
see, I think
help people that I know and I love and certain places and certain things. I could really implement real change in society and in people's lives, you know.
I think the truth is, not all of the 1%, but like some of the 1% are good people, you know what I mean, and they are doing good things.
Yeah.
Because I think like if things were bad, alright, I think like we'd see war everywhere right now, do you know what I mean? I don't think things are bad as what they...
No, what they try to make it, yeah.
But I do think like there's definitely a war on the brink, isn't there? You know, world war. It's sort of like this. It's shaking at the world.
It's bubbling out, escalating.
Yeah. There's a lot going on, that's for sure, isn't there, in the world? You know.
Yeah.
But we'll just have to see how that, you know.
What pans out.
I don't think anyone knows the future today.
No, I know.
We kind of know the past. All we can do.
Well, I think you can kind of get an idea of what is to come from the past, if you see what I mean. You know, history.
Yeah, like the price of living is going up.
Like they say, history tends to repeat itself.
Yeah. And
I think that has some element of truth to it as well. You know, that is true. History does tend to repeat itself. Like there's even a scripture in the Bible where it says like there's nothing new under the sun. It's like I can't remember. I can't remember who it was. I think it's a psalm. And one of the Psalms is talking about already, it's like it's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happened, happening now has already happened before, times, in times past, So
So I don't think things are much different to what they were 1,000 years ago. They are a little bit, alright, but you think about people 1,000 years ago, they're going around looking for water and food, just like we are today, going to the toilet. They weren't watching TV, they're probably talking to each other and entertaining each other a little bit and dancing, do you know what I mean? Having a good time. Their word vocabulary probably wasn't so big as it is today, do you know what I mean? I think we've invented a lot of words since then, do you know what I mean? It is a bit more simple back then, I would say, I think they were very intelligent back then, that's for sure, and they had good sort of conversation between each other, you think like even, I think 1,000 years ago, glass was invented, do you know what I mean? So they were quite intelligent back then.
Well, I can say as we all work,
Well, sometimes I think we're a bit dumber today because sorry.
No,
but I go into the shop now, right? And sometimes I've got to wait there 10 minutes, right? Because the machine and all this is going all wrong and so on, whatever, and I think, can we go back to cash? It used to be a lot simpler. I think we got a bit too complicated with numbers today, do you know what I mean?
Well, I think the world is, like we were talking about earlier before the show a little bit, like the world is heading to more of a digital kind of age when it comes to money,
Well,
like a lot of countries are adopting this now where, cash is, I think within the next maybe 10 years, cash might be almost like a thing of the past to a degree,
Yeah, but I don't think anything lasts forever. Like for instance our power, that powers up all the streets every night and everything like that, and we go in and put our cars in these machines and everything. But sometimes we have power cuts, and maybe the electric's not going to last forever. Maybe the energy's going to go, or whatever, or something.
Well,
or someone's going to turn the button off.
There has been a lot of speculation recently, even today I saw another article today actually, or yesterday, I can't remember if it's today or yesterday, been so busy. But another article again, I saw an article about the same thing about 6 months to a year ago, but they're talking about like some kind of like cyber attack that could potentially happen, that would like wipe out the internet for a few months. Wow. And I think one of these statements was even released by NASA or something. And I'm not saying obviously everything that NASA says is credible. I'm just saying this is a very large organisation and conglomerate company that is actually coming out and saying that there could potentially be something that might happen.
Yeah.
That might wipe out the internet for a few months, if you see what I mean. So.
You think like someone could turn the button on for a nuclear bomb to go off, say, and blow up the world, pretend, or someone could switch the button off to turn off the electric in the world. Do you know what I mean? And that would be quite devastating if somebody decided to do that in the kind of way, turn, because no cameras working or any phones. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. We'd have to go back in time to 1,000 years back, and learn how to live like we used to. Do you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Electric gives everyone a lot of power.
Yeah, definitely.
Everyone who's famous relies on electric.
True. Yeah.
Everyone.
Yeah.
Without it, can you imagine if the electric went? No YouTube, nothing. Just like it used to be, in a funny way. So, that could change the world, couldn't it? If you think about it, like the electric went. Then all the factories wouldn't work anymore, do you know what I mean?
But, like we talked about before, you can imagine how many online transactions take place every single day today?
Yeah.
Every single day of life, how many online transactions take place?
No.
So imagine if the internet went down tomorrow, mate, or the electricity went down, because obviously we need the electricity to, for the internet, So imagine if it went down for a few months, mate, the kind of chaos that would kind of
like we're not
create,
always relying
you know?
on it. We've not always had it. Do you know what I mean?
No.
The internet, but now we're relying on it.
Yeah, cool. But think about all these large companies and conglomerate things, mate, that are importing huge amounts of goods into different countries, and all these different things that they pay online. Like they do a lot of online processing where they, do like big wire transfers of money to different companies for their products and everything else. So yeah.
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 Yeah. I know, it's crazy, like, yeah, we could all, a stroke of lightning could sort of end, end the world.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, mate, before we wrap it up and call it a night for this week's episode, all about
freedom of speech.
That's it. Any final words? Any closing statements? Anything you want to leave with the people?
Well, I think it's all right to speak and say what you want as long as you're not upsetting anyone or
Yeah,
hurting anyone.
I agree with that 100%.
That's the thing. That's what I try not to do. Do you know what I mean? Like, whether I'm writing to anyone or speaking to anyone, I do try my best not to upset anyone. I hope that I didn't upset anyone in what I've said in this episode. All right, but I'm a little bit against them sort of protesting about it again, in a funny way.
Teaching it to the children.
In the kind of way, yeah. I don't want it to be an open thing for everyone to do. Do you know what I mean? I don't think it should be advertised.
Yeah.
That's all.
Yeah.
And I think, I don't know. Do you know what I mean? Maybe I'm wrong.
Yeah.
In what I'm saying. I'm not right all the time. So I'm an open-minded person, really. And I just believe that each person has got potential to sort of go around being quite kind and polite and trying to sort of better themselves in a kind of way, and that's how everyone should be.
Yeah, yeah.
Respect everyone around you, And I know that there's a lot of people that ain't got, they don't know how to respect other people, but you just got to kind of understand that you're not one of them, and forgive those people because they've not really learned, they're not being brought up properly maybe, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so on. But I think it's alright to say what you want as long as you don't hurt anyone.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, for sure. As long as you're not being hateful or hurtful.
Well, I got the choice to go out today and be rude to everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, shout at the windows and say all that or whatever, But I'm not, that's, at the end of the day, you're going to get kicked out of town, do you know what I mean? Kicked in if you do that, do you know what I mean? But, I mean, I wouldn't do that anyway. Do you know what I mean? I like to be
polite and respectful.
Well, I like to make people happy if I can, I'm that kind of person,
Right. Likewise. I'm a big believer in, being polite and respect and having a lot of, be respectful,
Yeah, making people smile.
That's it. Anyway, guys, hope you guys have enjoyed this week's episode all about
freedom of speech.
That's it.
I forgot almost.
Good night. God bless.
One love.
One love. Let's try to maintain some freedom of speech, please. Good night.